I want to talk about this too, because I had went right into the hospital right after I heard or saw this, and it was a very peculiar situation for me. For all of my listenership and the people that listen to me, I reiterate, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, big FOGFO. Nashville vibrations, right? Tennessee, we doing pretty good in music. Memphis has got a stronghold on it. And as far as podcasting, you dealing with it when you looking at me, you dealing with it, So we feel good about where we at, but we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot more work to put in. It's so far I gotta go, and so much more I gotta try to help and teach and become a trampoline of source of information and opportunity for this whole area, just to understand that prosperity is way more profitable, man, than violence. You know what I'm saying? We gotta switch the mindsets in regards to that. But nonetheless, I saw News Channel 5, a guy named Phil Collins that been around for a while. He did a special on Gideon's Army, and Hambino. Shout out Hambino. See, these guys have been on my podcast, and I know these guys to be generals, and I know these guys to be in a situation to try to help the community out, right? So LT's been on my podcast, and Hambino's been on my podcast. Now, I'm gonna run this clip of what News Channel 5 did on this, and then we're gonna come back with some commentary and an approach, and just try to figure out, man, what do we do, man? Like, what do we do in regards to when there's an issue? Because that one thing is clear: they can't reach in the ghetto and speak. That's clear. At some point, we gotta understand. We only can talk to us. And I think sometimes when we communicate that, they tend to try to use us against us, right? See, past and future is different. Then and now, those things are different. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to always remember that, man. And we'll see what they got to say. Let's see, because they got some shit. They got some stuff going on. Let's see.
To save a life or a deal with the devil? Tonight, that's the question about a Nashville nonviolence group's teaming up with a local gang figure.
In an investigation you will only see here, Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams discovered that taxpayer-funded group Gideon's Army may have ignored major warning signs that would ultimately lead to more violence.
Gideon's Army says it's all about making communities safer, but our questions about the mistakes made in their alliance with a prominent gang figure began with questions about the murder of a little girl.
The 911 call captured a mother's anguish and a child's trauma.
What's the location?
Back in April, a hail of gunfire shattered the night of Nashville's Cumberland View housing projects, an area known as Dodge City. 3-year-old Jamela Marlowe was one of 3 people caught in the crossfire. Jamela never made it home.
I left my baby at the hospital in a morgue. That is not right for a 3-year-old to be in a morgue. At this age, she was an innocent baby.
I just want to pray with y'all all right now. If y'all can bow your heads, close your eyes.
It came on the second night of grief in the neighborhood over the shooting death of a local gang figure. Video from social media shows a visual the night before that had erupted into a gun-waving celebration of life. The deceased man, Cleveland Shaw, was a paid employee of the nonviolence group Gideon's Army.
What we do is we take people who are credible messengers and we mentor them and we help to pull them off the streets and help them to transform their lives. And Cleveland was in that process, but it's a process.
Cleveland is a sacrifice for Dodge City projects.
At Shaw's funeral, Gideon's Army's Hambino Godbody and other group leaders hailed him as a violence interrupter and a neighborhood hero.
We know the police didn't know part of the law like Cleveland because they don't like black men who know how to carry themselves and protect and provide like their children.
But the truth about the Gideon's Army employee our investigation discovered is much more complicated. Inside the three-wheel vehicle that Shaw was driving, police found 3 high-powered firearms, even though he was legally prohibited from carrying a weapon because of a domestic violence conviction.
I was under investigation for homicide.
The admitted shooter, Carice Crawford, the estranged boyfriend of Cleveland Shaw's sister, recorded this Facebook Live on his way to meet police, where he told them he shot Shaw in self-defense. Police believe Shaw had also shot up Crawford's car and his mother's house the night before. Fatuga refuses to believe it.
They don't have any video of that, and the dead men tell no tales.
What was his reputation?
He was the shot caller. He was the OG for that gang, and his word was final.
And people feared him?
Yes.
This undercover Metro Police gang detective knew Cleveland Shaw as the money-flashing head of a street gang that called itself the Dodge City Young Gunners, DCYG for short.
DCYG and be the movement.
The song sung at that vigil back in April was a tribute to the gang. The balloons were the gang's colors, part of what police say is the 5-2 or 5-2
Go get me in
Crips. It was the same gang from which Hambino Godbody came before he was busted in 2012 for trafficking cocaine.
You in a dope gang? You better cash the out right now.
A gang that the Gideon's Army leader just saluted in a Facebook post on May 2nd, 5-2.
DCYG is a very violent street gang here in Nashville. They have no loyalties to anyone else but their own gang.
What is their source of income?
Narcotics and robberies.
According to Gideon's Army, Cleveland Shaw began working as a volunteer in March 2020 after the tornado that hit North Nashville.
But when the tornado happened in Cumberland View, Cleveland was the first person to come with food, to feed the community.
Cleveland, shout out.
I'm with the Gideons Army. Go check on the office, homie.
Then in October, Gideon's Army put Shaw on the payroll supposedly to keep the peace in the same projects where his criminal activity had resulted in his being banned from the property. And when police arrested Shaw to enforce the no trespassing order, Gideon's Army portrayed him as a victim.
What I've been arrested for?
Trespass.
For what?
Trespass.
A victim of overly aggressive policing.
You put him to work in Cumberland View knowing that he was banned from that property.
I didn't understand the ban list in that way. He had been there the whole time.
What I like about Cleveland.
To try to get the Metro Housing Agency to take Shaw off the ban list, Gideon's Army produced this video showing neighborhood children talking about how Shaw has showered them with money.
We don't want, when we don't have money, you give us money, snacks, and he be taking us to the store.
Even though records showed that in a pending court case, Shaw swore he didn't have a job, didn't make any money, didn't receive government assistance.
Where did you think he was getting his money?
We were paying him, Phil.
This ain't anything.
When he showed up after the tornado, where did you think he was getting his money?
We didn't ask because he didn't do that for us. He did that for the community.
This ain't anything right here, man.
They didn't ask. And that may have been just the first warning sign that the group overlooked or ignored. Later in this newscast, we reveal other evidence that the gang leader wasn't the hero that Gideon's Army has tried to claim.
Two-piece special on this. And they portrayed that, they portrayed Cleveland in a real bad light, man, amidst his death. And I think that's a bit much, dog. Like that's kind of crazy. I mean, if I would say this. If Gideon's Army is that bad that you're saying, then you probably wouldn't have to use the person that's deceased that can't respond for themselves to prove that they are, right? You should probably have somebody that's, that can defend the accusations that maybe you're bringing up against them. I mean, all is fair in communication, right? So, I mean, if we're this bad of a situation, it's like, that dude
acts
can't
of violence
speak for
allegedly
himself,
committed by some of Gideon Army's own
let's
people.
run this.
Good evening. Tonight, News Channel 5 investigates, uncovers serious questions about a popular social justice group and its claims to have dramatically reduced crime in North Nashville.
Those claims have given Gideon's Army growing political clout in the city. But an exclusive News Channel 5 investigation has discovered those claims ignore real violence, including acts of violence allegedly committed by some of Gideon Army's own people.
News Channel 5 Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams has the results of a 6-month investigation. Phil.
Well, guys, Gideon's Army claims it deserves another $1 million of your money because it was able to eliminate violent crime in a Nashville neighborhood that's so notorious it got its own song. But our investigation discovered, despite the group's best intentions, those claims are just not true.
I'm born and raised from over here, so it's like it's home for me.
Here in the Cumberland View housing projects of North Nashville, an area whose violent history long ago earned it the nickname Dodge City, we had witnessed how leaders of Gideon's Army have tried to upend the notion that it's up to police to impose law and order.
It's about creating safe zones and safe spaces where our children can be children and our elderly
now let me say this
walk
too.
around.
Arguing that it's up to the community.
Let me say this about LT. LT for shit show. You know, he's every day he's striving for, so you know what I'm saying, like them dudes got good people in them organizations, man. I can, you know, so I just don't, like I say, man, it's unfortunate that the news take these type of approaches to us, right? You got to give us, you know, damn, if we doing that bad, like, don't use my past on me if I'm doing that bad. You got me now, don't you? Why you keep bringing up, listen, I hate somebody that do that. I hate a person that do that. I gave you this, or I gave you some money. Yo, bro, stop. If I'm what you saying I am, you should have something right now. If you the big dog and all this and that, what's going on right now? And then to be able to use somebody that, what's the name, is very weird, but LT is getting certificates and every day helping people with training and working out and everything. And I see video of him being in the community doing this 1-2 every day. So like, it's weird, man. I don't know. It seemed like some kind of disconnect. Now, what they saying, numbers wise, I can't confirm or deny. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm talking about the quality of individual that I'm speaking about in regards to LT. You see what I'm saying? And Hambino, you know, like I say, he done been on my show as well. And he, like I say, I'm always seeing him doing what he doing. But to paint that whole organization like that, that's kind of wild.